Hi everyone, Doug McNeil here, and I wanted to include you on my new goal of learning to ride a unicycle, electric unicycle. You may have seen this unicycle before. It was given to me by my son, the Ninja. I want to tell you something about him. His motto, "Build your dream," is not just a gimmick, or it really is something part of his character. I first saw that trait in his character when he was 12 years old. I took him up to a place near here in the mountains here. I'll show you in a second. I'll turn the camera, you can see the mountains. We spent a couple days up there, and one of the things I've always wanted to do since I was a young person is there's a powerhouse up there with pin stalks going up the face of a cliff. And I've climbed those things probably 20 or 30 times just as a ritual I do. Anyway, I've always wanted to put my bike at the top of that, hike to the top, and then ride the bike down the back way from a lake up there, which is about a 12-mile ride, but it's all downhill. So you go straight up this thing, but then you can ride down and take you, an hour to ride down. So I always wanted to do that, and when we were up there, we decided to do that. And it was a fun thing. And after we got down to the back to the car, I told him that's something I always wanted to do. And he said, "Oh, so I helped you fulfill one of your dreams." And that was the first time I heard it. And then since that time, I've seen that happen a few times. But I've always wanted to learn to ride a unicycle, a pedal unicycle. And I've never actually got a unicycle and done it. Then when I was on a trip one time and I saw one of these things. I asked that guy, I saw a guy ride up on it, he was carrying it, and I said, "What's that thing?" And he said, "Well, it's an electric unicycle," and he unfolds the pedals, and he just stands on it, and he just cruises off through the crowd of people, just real slow, just weaving through the people. I've got it, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I told about it, I told the Ninja about it, and then before you know it, he bought one off of Amazon, did a little review on it, and then he gave this to me. So that's just a nice thing for him to do. So I thought I'd include you on my learning to ride it. So the one I saw on my trip was bigger than this, and it was taller. And when you stand on these, it goes between your legs. And this one is kind of small, and my knees come up to, my feet are here, my knees are probably up to here. So it wiggles back and forth between my legs, which kind of throws me off. So I'm going to take I've got them right here. I've got some painting poles. I'm going to use like canes just to show you what I mean. And then I've got a plan to, it's going to be a simple thing, but I'm going to build some deals that plywood that comes up with blocks in between and wire and whatever. It'll be sturdy, but it'll make this thing taller so I can actually learn to ride it better. Once I've got that learned, I can take that off. It's kind of like training wheels, I think. And then I'll be able to ride this. And then if I get to ride it really good, I'll probably buy one that's bigger and have this for my grandkids to play with, and I'll go riding, they can ride with me. So anyway, that's my goal. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm just going to ride this with my sticks down to the end of the sidewalk here and then around the yard maybe once. But I'm really shaky on it. I really want to learn to ride it. This is one of my goals. But I'm kind of afraid to do it because it feels so shaky. When the Ninja was testing this, he didn't know about a setting. There's a setting: hard, medium, and soft. You can hook your phone up to this with an app. And when I put it to soft, now you can stand on it without it jiggling back and forth like he was having trouble with. So I can just stand on it, and I can move slowly with my sticks. I'm going to try and pick up a little speed, and then maybe try and go around a little bit here. But when I get my supports built, I'm going to take it over to a building I know where there's carpet inside, and I'll try and ride it around and really learn it. I'll spend an hour or two doing it there, and I should be able to pick it up by that time. So I'll turn the camera around and we'll see how this goes. I really don't know what's going to happen. That seems pretty hard. I don't know if I'm going to catch on. I'm going to just try it a little bit more. I'm going to build that support, and I think that I'll be able to get the feel for it then. I'm just kind of afraid to just take off fast on it. But I want to, so I'm going to try to. All right. I'll keep it posted. Alright, I got this box done. I'll just call it a box or frame. My little crutch or training wheels done, and it only took an hour to do it, and it works pretty good. It really helped me a lot. So you can see that it's still really narrow. It's only a 1/4 inch plywood, and the handle and the pedals still work. And I'll take it outside and show you how it works, and I'll show you how I made it. So here it is. I just had this 1/4 inch plywood in my stock of stuff. Didn't even have to cut it. It was the right size already. 2 pieces. Amazing. Anyway, then I made a little wooden saddle. It's a 2x6 down here. The top of the unicycle has a curved spot, and I used a planer and I made that shape the same so it sits on top really tight. I mean, it just sits on there nicely. So what that does is it keeps this from being able to go down, you know, to move down, up and move down. It can't go down any further. It also rests on top of these this frame here too. So it can't go down. And then I put these, I shaped this. It gets narrower at the top. It kind of fits good on your legs. And I put that so that it touches this frame, the handle frame. So it can't move. So now it can't move this way or this way. And also it lets you have this frame, this unicycle, if you lift it up by the handle, it shuts it off and you'll fall right over. So anyway, so that keeps this from being engaged, and it also gives you a handle to hold on to when you're learning. So it can't move left or right, up or down. It can't move down. And then I ran these wires through a little slot that's in this frame, and I've put it into a screw and put a washer on there. I was going to put something heavier, you know, into the, you know, something that goes into the ends with the rod, and then some heavier wire, and, you know, put some bolts and tightening it up, pulling it down hard. But I decided to do something just wire, so that it can actually, if it does get crashed really bad, it can give a little bit and it won't break, it won't damage this pedal. So that's what I did, and it works pretty good. I've used it a little bit, and it's not easy for an old guy to learn new tricks. So what I found that I rode a lot of skateboard when I was young, and I'm learning that I don't want to lean forward or lean back. It's against my habit. So it's really hard for me I can stand up on it now, and I'm not afraid to get up on it. But what happens is I can't make it go. So what I'm just barely getting over that. I'm getting it to move now. So I'm not going to do anything else until I can go from here, start out, go over there, and stop. So I'll pick up speed, and then I'm going to lean back and stop it over there. I'm going to get the brakes to where, you know, I've already done this some, and it's really helped me a lot. I'm going to go get speed, slow down, and stop. Turn around, get speed, come down, and stop. When I get really good at that, then I'm going to try and go up here and go around instead of going straight through. Go around on the sidewalk and go up there and stop. Maybe even go around and then go up and stop. So I'm going to try and get some maneuverability there. I'm just going to try and lean forward. I have to force myself to do it, and I'll get in that habit. I'm going to give it a few runs right now and see how I do. Unfortunately, I'm back to square one. I forgot what I was doing the other night. I was doing a lot better the other night. I'll give it a few more tries. Starting to get it again. Another thing that helped me a lot was using my left foot first. That's the way I did skateboarding when I was younger. But then I've got to remember to lean forward. I'm starting to get it. I can tell that if I didn't have this frame, that I would be definitely crashing, because I can feel it start to wiggle like this. And if I didn't have the frame, it would just like flop in my legs and I would crash. I've crashed a few times already with it, and this thing actually protected it, saved this from getting scratched up. I'm going to turn it backwards and see if it works. Going backwards is easier. I think that the angle is a little, I can push down a little easier on the front, makes it go better. So I can adjust the angle on this in my app. Yeah, it's a little easier. I'm going to try going around the outside of that circle now. Yeah, that made a big difference going backwards. I can just stand up and it starts to move. I'm going to flail my arms a little bit to see if that makes it better. This is going to be so worth it when I know how to do this good. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh yeah. I love the sound it makes, that little motor sound it makes while it's so quiet, so precise. That was the first time I made it around. I feel like I'm almost there. This is going to be great when I get the hang of this. Oh yeah, almost there. Alright, I won't bore you anymore with this. I'll just keep practicing on my own. I can pretty much go straight and turn, and I've ridden around in town a little bit too. So I've got a few miles on it now, and it's getting much better. Really enjoying it. Alright, so I've got that down. That's what my goal was, is to be able to do that. So, you saw where I was when I started. I'm making some progress. I'm going to go take this box off. I've been calling it my training box. And it's really helped me because when I'm leaning over, it doesn't put any pressure on my shins. It just goes right to my knees, which is more natural to me. Alright, I'll go take it off. Alright, here it goes. My security blanket. My protective gear. Now I'm going to leave these wires in so I can put it back on again if I have to. Alright, so now I'm more nervous again. Turn it on. Put the handle down. Try and ride this little shrimpy thing. It's a lot harder jumping on, but I think it's easier once you're riding. This maneuvering is much easier. I'll try it again. I gotta get used to that jumping on. It's just the jumping on I can't do. I can ride it better without the box. But I'm gonna have to just practice getting on and off. That's my next goal. I'm wanting to get good at this, so I'm going to keep at it. So I decided I'm not going back. I'm going to take these wires off. I'm going to put the box in the kindling pile. All right, I think I've met my goal. I think I can ride this as good as I'd hoped to. So I can get on the thing without too much trouble now. I can maneuver. One thing I really wanted to do was to be able to go slow and go within, a crowd of people. So I've done that at a farmer's market in here in our town, and that worked out real good. So I wanted to be able to go down here and go around that circle there. I can do that now.
Bluetooth is connected.
So I found that if I put my right foot on there nice and tight and I bend my leg so that it's not straight up, then I can jump on here pretty good. Then I can go slow if I want to, or I can speed up and go around the circle. I can go around this as many times as I want until I get dizzy. I mean, I get dizzy pretty easily, but I've gone around here like 10 times. I can even go down to the end here and I can turn around on the sidewalk if I crank my, I went off of it that time, but I can go around there pretty, my left turns are getting a lot better. I found that if I ride like my left leg is longer, that I go straighter. I think I'm pretty happy. It's a lot of fun. I'm really glad I learned to do it. And I want to thank again for helping me with this dream. He helped me build my dream here. So this is a childhood dream. I remember the comic BC and how BC rode that wheel. And I liked cartooning when I was in junior high or so. And I can't believe how Johnny Hart was such a prophet. If you look at the pictures of BC riding that wheel and compare it to this is just exactly what he was picturing in those cartoons. But anyway, I'm glad I did it, and I've just picked something like you think you might want to do and just go after it. Enjoy yourself. It's time to wrap this video up. So I've had this wheel quite a while now, and I've checked this morning. The odometer is about 204 miles. I use it for everything. I ride it a lot, and I've ridden across town a few times to church on this trail. I meet my son at his house, and we ride this trail across town. I rode it once from my house, which is over 20 miles, and that's a little bit much for this little wheel. I wouldn't recommend that. I've got it set for 12 miles an hour, and that's about as much. That's safety margin's kind of thin at that point, and I don't. It took a long time. My legs were cramping up. The most fun thing I've done on it is to, ride around the church with the kids. They just love it. I volunteer for a program there, and they have songs that I can put onto the wheel, and it's just I help the kids in the parking lot, going to and from their cars to keep them safe, and they just like it, and I love it, and so I'm really glad I did it. Thanks again, Ninja, for the generosity and for your thoughtfulness to others. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, but until then, I'm Doug McNeil, and I'm an old dog trying to learn new tricks, kind of old guy.